Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijayacharya Sthura Shishimata Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijayacharya Sthura Shishimata Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananti Goti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Nam Acharya Silaridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindi Ki Sisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Navadip Dham Ki Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrindi Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. So today we will be reading from the Krishna book, from the 10th canto, this particular pastime on the 10th canto, 5th chapter. Let's get that page out. Oh, it's the 5th chapter. Okay. The meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. The meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva is very interesting. And Prabhupada had summarized it in the Krishna book, but a more detailed explanation can be got from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he very interestingly paraphrased the whole pastime. So the first text or the first paragraph or the first text of the pastime, and I'll just read it. Sukadeva Goswami said, Nanda Maharaj was naturally very magnanimous. And when Lord Sri Krishna appeared as his son, he was overwhelmed by jubilation. Therefore, after bathing and purifying himself and dressing himself properly, he invited Brahmanas who knew how to recite Vedic mantras. After having these qualified Brahmanas recite auspicious Vedic hymns, he arranged to have the Vedic ceremony celebrated for his newborn child according to the rules and regulations, and he also arranged for the worship of the demigods and forefathers. So both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, they are parents or fathers of Krishna. There's an interesting, in terms of love, there's an hierarchy of as to how much love each person possesses in terms of parental love. Like first it's Mother Yashoda, then it's Nanda Maharaj. But Vasudev comes a little later. He's not the first one because of different levels of love. And the Acharyas explained it very nicely in different purports. And it is very difficult to go over it now at this point in time. But Vasudeva actually features a little later. But Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, they feature right on the top in terms of their loving relationship with Krishna. Here it is said that, he was overwhelmed with jubilation. And there is a ceremony that is described in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam of the birth. When Krishna takes birth, there is a process which is called the Jat Karma ceremony. And the Jat Karma ceremony is cutting the umbilical cord from the child. So, because Lord Krishna takes birth in Gokul. You've been to Gokul, anybody? You've been to this place? Gokul. And the palace, it's a very old palace, and the pillars are still there. It's very strong pillars, it's amazing. It's probably about 84 pillars. And it's all very strong in Gokul, and this is where Krishna took birth, and this is where the ceremony of cutting the umbilical cord from the child or from Mother Yashoda, Krishna appears. So in the Gita it's explained, Arjuna saw the universal form, then he saw the four-arm form, then he saw the two-arm form, the original form of Krishna. That's explained in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But the four-arm form is the Vishnu form, and we were explaining it the other day when I was doing the class on the Srimad Bhagavatam on Lord Narayan, the four-arm feature of the Lord, or the Vishnu form. It's different. So when that Jat Karma ceremony takes place, that takes place in Gokul. And when Vasudeva and Devaki, when they were in prison, it could have not taken place there because they were shackled. They were chained. Correct? So the evidence is given by the Acharyas that the actual two-arm form Krishna appeared in Gokul. This is one of the evidences. Then, when we look at, and as we read to this chapter, it talks about another good reason, because whilst Mother Yashoda gave birth to Krishna, she also gave birth to a daughter. And that's confirmed in the scriptures, because it's said there in the the chapter we done before, it says, the child Yogamaya Devi, the younger sister of Lord Vishnu, slipped upward from Kamsa's hands and appeared in the sky as Devi, the goddess Durga, with 8 arms, completely equipped with weapons. So that Yogamaya, here it is said, is the younger sister of Lord Vishnu. So if it's the younger sister of Krishna, then Krishna must have taken birth first. Make sense? So the evidences are given in the Shastras, in the scriptures. So then he's taken birth, but then later, that same Yogamaya, when the exchange took place, Krishna from Mathura, or from the 4-arm form, merges with the 2-arm form of Krishna. And in the female form, this is Durga, yes, Yogamaya, becomes Durga, because it slips from the hand of Kamsa. This is the younger daughter of Mother Yashoda. Make sense now? Is it clear? So it's very technical, so there's a lot of different thoughts given behind it. So that's the second evidence you can say about Yogamaya taking birth. Now, the affection between the two, between Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda and Devaki, and Vasudeva and Devaki, it's a lot different. It's in awe and reverence. It's not like pure affection that is spontaneous. There's a difference in the love and affection. So it's spontaneous in Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Therefore, when you look at the hierarchy, they fall right on the top. They fall right on the top. And Vasudeva a little later. So then, the other evidence is that's given in the, which probably is the best evidence, that Krishna had taken birth in Gokul. When the gopis sing the song of separation, the Gopi Geet. You familiar with that? Jayate dikam janmana vraja srayate indira saswatatrahi dayate drisyatam dikshutavaka tvaidritsava tvam vichinbate. So it says, Jayate tetikam janmana vraja. So the gopis are saying that the land of Gokul, of Vrindavan, is become exceedingly glorious because Lord Krishna had taken birth there. Got it? So that's the best evidence that one can get that Krishna appeared there. So I'm explaining these points because of the difference of Vasudeva and Devaki and Nanda Maharaj's meeting and their loving affection is a lot different. So the next evidence that's given in the 10th canto also, it's where it said, I'll just read it. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue, like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. So this is given by Brahma, who is the first guru in disciplic succession. It's given there in the Prayers of Brahma, and you can read it. It's on the 10th canto, chapter 14, text number 1. So that means he's saying that, O son of the king of the cowherds. So, O son, king of the cowherds. So Krishna is a cowherd boy. So that's another evidence that Krishna appeared in Gokul, the original form of Krishna. Is it clear so far? So then, but Krishna it's said is more perfect, is perfect in Dwarka, more perfect in Mathura, and most perfect in Vrindavan. So therefore, this text that was dealing with the subject matter of the meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, the essence and what's been put here is that when he appeared, then he called the Brahmanas. And then the Brahmanas, they recite Vedic mantras for auspiciousness and for purification purposes. But it's interesting that Nanda Maharaj was so overwhelmed that he was unable to do all these mantras himself because he was overexcited by the birth of Lord Krishna. Overexcited. So the next text says that Nanda Maharaj, he gave 2 million cows. And these cows were decorated with jewels and cloth. And then he gave like 7 hills of grain covered with jewels and with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. So like 2 million cows in charity. Because generally, it's important to give Brahmins charity. So this is what he did. But in the case of Vasudeva, when Krishna was born in the prison, and when you go to Mathura, to that prison, you can still go there, to that prison, he could not do that. So what did he do? So in his mind, he was giving charity. In his mind, he's giving charity because he was in imprisonment. So the Brahmanas, they recited this auspicious Vedic mantras which purify the environment by their vibration. So that's very important because when Brahmanas recite mantras or they chant the holy name, which is the most important mantra, so the whole environment is transformed. It creates, because Krishna is now in the environment. Krishna is always there, but by the recitation of mantras, he is even more present. So like that, they did that. And then, there were a lot of decorations. The whole home where Nanda Maharaj was full of decorations with varieties of flags and flowers, garlands like mango tree twigs and leaves. Generally how we decorate. Even in India up till today they do that. And the houses were swept and washed with water. So there's various descriptions given in the meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva as to how the different living entities were dealt with and how they were decorated, like the bulls, the cows, and the calves were smeared with mixture of turmeric and oil mixed with varieties of minerals. It's very descriptive. And their heads were decked with peacock feather, and they were garlanded. It was such a nice sight. And in the scriptures it's explained how the cowhead men, they were dressed with valuable ornaments, garments, coats, turbans. So they were, and then they give description of now the gopis, the wives of the cowherd men. So they were very, very pleased that Mother Yashoda had now given birth to the son. So they also began to decorate themselves properly in their new dresses, with black ointment in their eyes and so on. And there's various description. And I'll just read one of them. Their lotus faces, extraordinarily beautiful, being decorated with saffron and newly grown kumkum, the wives of the cowherd men hurried into the house of Mother Yashoda with presentations in their heads. Because of their natural beauty, the wives had full hips and full breasts, which moved as they hurried along. So there's a very beautiful description as they hurrying and going to see Mother Yashoda, but they were like very beautiful people or ladies, and it's described here. They had full hips with full breast as they hurried along to the Mother Yashoda's house. And there's a very nice description given in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes that how when Krishna plays his flute, and when he played his flute, then all the cowherd girls, they dropped everything and they were running to see Krishna. They all were running to see Krishna. And as they were running to see Krishna, because Krishna, he engaged in an act of thievery. He stole their sobriety, their shyness, their power of discrimination, according to the cowherd girls. And they were running because the way it's explained that these were their goods. So Krishna had stolen their goods, and they were running, and with their earrings moving backward, back and forth, and they were running to get their goods back. So it's very nicely described in the scriptures that the cowherd girls wanted to get their goods back. So similarly, these ladies were running, they were hurrying along, and their movements, they were hurrying, and it was fast. And then in the next verse in the 10th canto is explained, in the ears of the gopis were brilliantly polished jeweled earrings, and from their necks hung metal lockets. Their hands were decorated with bangles. Their dresses were varied colors, and from their hair flowers fell onto the street like showers. Thus, while going to the houses of Maharaj Nanda, the gopis, their earrings, breasts, and garlands were moving were brilliantly beautiful. So it's such beautiful descriptions are given. I think we're reaching 7 o'clock. Is it 7 o'clock? So we have to stop here, I think. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll continue again from the next time on this topic. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Tagore Premanande.